What's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Broadcasting Community. Shout out to the Louisiana All-American Sports Network. Shout out to Envision Photography and Video. If you need commercials, if you need real estate, baby showers, parties, anything, contact Envision Photography and Video or Marlon Harvey on Facebook. Shout out to Louisiana All-American Sports Network again, and shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. This is my 2025 Southern University Blue versus Gold post-game reaction, part 2. It's just bigger than just your average scrimmage, but it's a movie. And just to kind of give the quick post-game recap, first and foremost, when it came to A.W. Mumford Stadium, Pete Richardson Field, as usual, it was your normal, family-friendly atmosphere, nice vibes, nice scenery, everything was lovely. And it was supposed to start at 1 p.m. However, when I got to A.W. Mumford Stadium, Pete Richardson Field, there was 7-on-7 on the field. The lineman was working on some lineman drills. And of course, from what I'm understanding, the officials weren't ready on time. They arrived late. So that kind of delayed the start of things. But once everything got going, it was a real festive atmosphere. Everyone sat on the east side of A.W. Mumford Stadium. For those that have not been to A.W. Mumford Stadium, that's the away side, the side I sit on during the season, when we have season tickets, whatever the case may be. So everyone was seated on the away side. I had to go in the parking lot and meet some of my people. Coming back into the parking lot, I bumped into Kendrick Grimes, major shout out to Kendrick Grimes. Then after that, everything kicked off. Jalen Woods led the first unit on the field. They kind of went 4-and-out. Kelby Givens, that was like the only series he played in. For that one particular series, the defense was pretty dominant. Then after that, next series, Jamari Jones came in, led the offense down the field for a touchdown. Then after that, Jalen Woods came back in, led them down the field for a touchdown. And after that point, for the most part, the offense kind of took over things, going up and down the field. And it was pretty dominant from an offensive standpoint. The one series Kelby Givens played in, the defense was dominant. However, for the most part, the offense pretty much dominated the entire first half. And that was kind of all I needed to see. The offense has progressed significantly the last couple of years, because the last couple of spring games, truthfully speaking, the offense at times was extremely pedestrian, rather anemic. Now, this particular season in 2025 for the Blue vs. Gold spring game, the offense was phenomenal and awesome. I was pleasantly surprised and impressed. They had a real West Coast type feel, a lot of sharp passes. Jalen Woods, Jamari Jones, they went through the progression quick. A lot of quick passes, a lot of sharp passes, pretty efficient. The offense was amazing. However, the run game left a little bit to be desired. It was running back by committee as usual. They had some good runs here and there, but for the most part, they really couldn't run the ball. One thing that kind of caught my eye too, the offensive line and defensive line, they look pretty stout and big on both sides of the ball. So from a coaching standpoint, that's one thing that definitely caught my eye. I mean, overall, I was pleased and I was impressed. The first series, the defense did good when Kelby Givens did play. But when we got to the second series and thereon in the first half, the offense pretty much dominated. After that point, it was a mass exodus for the exit sign. On my way out, I bumped into Kendrick Grimes' parents, his dad and his mom, talked to them, major shout out to them. They were real nice people, cool people. Kendrick Grimes' mom, his dad, major shout out to them. But overall, it was a pretty pleasant experience being at A.W. Mumford Stadium, Pete Richardson Field for the 2025 Blue vs. Gold spring game. And at the end of the day, I had some major takeaways. First and foremost, my first takeaway from an offensive perspective, the offense is light years better than what it was in the spring game the last couple of years. So the offense was excellent. I was thoroughly impressed. I was very pleased with the offense. In terms of negative things, first and foremost, Southern, y'all need to tighten up. we need to get a PA announcer every year for the Blue versus Gold spring game. Not knowing some of the new players, players change numbers. I don't know if this player was this player, that player was that player. And then in some instances, you have a few players, they wear the same number, so you don't know which player is which. So we got to get a PA announcer for the Blue versus Gold spring game every year from now. And in addition to that, the worst part of it all, the best running back that was at the Blue versus Gold spring game was sitting in the stands, and that being Kendrick Grimes. And truthfully speaking, no disrespect to the current running backs, but the best running back sitting in the stands watching, that's not a good look. And truthfully speaking, I'm not even going to lie, I'm not going to even put that one on Kendrick Grimes. I'm going to kind of give that to Coach Graves and staff. You know, I don't know what could be done to kind of fix the situation. But at the end of the day, it's not a good look when your best running back is in the transfer portal and he's sitting in the stands. We need to rectify the situation. We need to fix it. You know, whatever the coaching staff needs to do to square things away. But at the end of the day, the offense was great. But imagine if Kendrick Grimes would have actually played in a Blue versus Gold spring game. The offense would have been that much more dynamic, that much more explosive. So we need to get Kendrick Grimes back in the blue and gold. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to keep it a buck. I think whatever transpired, it is what it is. But I'm going to put that on the coaching staff. So Coach Graves and staff. And I know he's kind of, hey, we're going to go with whoever we have an approach. Running back by committee. You know, you can have young players, freshmen, play at that particular position. But I disagree. From a coaching perspective, I always wanted the best players I could possibly get on my team. So whatever transpired, you know, during the fall or whatever, during the season or whatever, hey, y'all got to make things right, in my opinion, to be at your best. Because truthfully speaking, once you transition to the season, hey, your little West Coast short passing game, it was good, it was efficient. But what if you have a team and you play against a team that's going to be able to lock up all your wide receivers across the board? You have to have a running game to complement your passing game. So I think that's the thing, you know, the running game was, it was kind of suspect. And I think a huge part of the reason why the running game was suspect was because the best running back was sitting in the stands watching the game. But overall, it was an excellent experience, excellent atmosphere. And I think the thing that encourages me as a hardcore member of Jaguar Nation, I think if the offense could play during the season the way they played yesterday in the Blue versus Gold spring game, and the defense could play the way it played during the season, this coming season, hey, that's a heck of a 1-2 punch, heck of a 1-2 combination. A lot of people have been asking me, Coach, what transpired from a special team standpoint? There was absolutely no special teams. Even when the offense scored, they went for 2 after that. So there was no punting, no kicking, no special teams whatsoever. So I really can't assess and evaluate the special teams because at the end of the day, there was no special teams to evaluate. But overall, at the end of the day, like I said, great vibes, great atmosphere. I was pleasantly surprised, thoroughly impressed with the way everything transpired. The only little negative thing I had was the fact that Kendrick Grimes was in the stands as opposed to on the field. So that's my full post-game recap of the 2025 Southern University Blue versus Gold spring game. You know, hopefully y'all enjoyed the atmosphere that I tried to bring to you. And like I said, it's just not just scrimmage. It's a movie. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal day. Peace and blessings. And go Jags.